on the household he grew up in, and so on, and what was available to them, that he would be also successful. More so than the son of a carpenter, for example, or a tradesman, whatever else for that matter. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other here, I'm just giving an example. We need all of that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave different people different skills and abilities. What I'm trying to say here is that we have a bigger responsibility being in the school of Ahlul Bayt because of what is available to us. Again, we have the best role models. Imam Al-Askari alayhi afdal salawat wa tahiyyat, one of the family members, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, one of the members of the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of Ahlul Bayt, one of the Imams, the infallible ones. Another example of an infallible. And this is my discussion tonight and inshallah tomorrow night, and if we cannot wrap it up on Thursday night inshallah, about how can we purify to get close to the infallible. Isn't that what they are? Role models. What is so special about them? We call them al-ma'sumin, yes? And then we speak about them versus other characters and other figures, and we say, well, some of the family members of the Prophet, although they were very good, but they were not amongst the 14, what? Ma'sumin, yes? Infallible ones. So one of the greatest characteristics that they hold is this infallibility. Now we know that that is a protection or extra protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm not saying that we can claim or have that, to have that title of ma'soom from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is not available to you and I. But what is available to protect ourselves from sins and get ourselves to a level where we can submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be real Muslims. That is something we should learn from them. That is the goal, again, of them being humans, not angels, so that you and I can learn from them. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to send an angel in a human body, could He not? If He wanted to send an angel as a messenger that lives amongst us, in fact, and lives a life that is basically as long as humanity lives, is it not possible? Of course it is. But He says, say to them, Ya Rasulullah, if there were angels walking on earth, God would have sent an angel to them. Why? Because we have to relate to them. We should be able to relate to them. If they're angels and we're not angels, we're not going to be able to relate to them. But we can relate to Ahlul Bayt. And when we speak of them, they're humans like you and I. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a debate within the Quran, to those people who claim that Jesus, peace be upon Him, is God or the Son of God, He says, look at Him and His mother. They used to eat. كَانَا يَأْكُلَانَ الطَّعَامِ. They used to eat. In other words, they're needy of food. And what follows that? All the limitations of the body and the Ahlul Bayt were the same. They were humans like you and I in that sense. Did they have temptations? Of course they did. Did they complete and perfect themselves, completely control their temptations and desires? Of course they did. And that is what we should learn from them. That is why they are role models for us. The next few nights I want to speak of the real tazkiyatun nafs, real self-purification, practical rather than theoretical. It is very often that we speak of the theory. And again, it is a limitation of the member and the monologue of the basically the style of the member being simply single direction, and limitation of the speech versus action and the speaker as well. And I admit to that we have to also, coming to the practical part, we have to speak theory as well. But we want to think practically. And that's what I want to hopefully inspire all of us, including myself, to think practically. Yes, we're hearing it is theory, but we need to think practically. Arfan, my dear brothers and sisters, getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ma'rifatun nafs, knowing oneself, which means or translates to knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah. Whoever knows himself, then they know their Lord. And the levels of ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Imam of the time, through the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to know Him, to not be astray, that we recite in Dua al-Ma'rifah. All of that is not attained and it is not obtained through studying and reading theories. This is a fact. You go and ask any of our great Gnostics and scholars of Arfan, and they will tell you it is not through reading and accumulating information. Though it may be necessary to learn some theory in order to put it into practice, but it's reading the books and accumulating information will not get us anywhere. There's a beautiful poem in Farsi. He says, try to remove the raf'a hujub jui. Search and struggle to remove the veils, not to increase information, because through information you will not be able to remove the veils. It is through action. One has to act in order to obtain even more guidance and act on it, obtain. And I've mentioned the hadith that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifts the extra knowledge and the extra guidance based on those who act. Man amila bima ya'lam. You act on what you already know. We know so much. Do we act on it all? Let us think about it. I want us to reflect. I want us to think and try and analyze ourselves. Through 5 stages, inshallah, we'll go through them, that our scholars and our ulama of Arfan, they suggest those 5 stages. Again, theory is not going to help on its own. Think practically. The first stage, they call it al-muraqabah. There's a 3-stage that normally people speak of. This is a different categorization I will mention, inshallah. There's one that they speak of musharata, muraqabah, and muhasabah. The 3-stage, this is a different thing. We have muraqabah. Muraqabah is when we constantly are monitoring ourselves. Observation and monitoring constantly. Monitor, before they start road construction, I don't know if you noticed, they put some cables on the road. They are meters. They basically count how many cars. Sometimes they put them in different lanes. How many cars on each lane. So they want to do some analysis before they bring about any changes. They want to figure out what is going on and put it in numbers and do some statistics and decide accordingly how they basically better the circumstances. The first thing that we need to do is to observe ourselves. Throughout the day, observe, what do I do? Unfortunately, many of us, we get in a circle in life that we don't even, or a cycle, that we don't even know what's going on in our lives. There's no direction. One of the problems that in today's day and age people are suffering through is lack of direction, unless there is some institution that puts some direction in our lives. And I'll tell you what I mean. If there is no school for those who go to school, or mothers who take their children to school, and if there is no work for those who go to work, college, school, university, or work, and those things are timed, and they have certain expectations, and based on those things, those measures that they take, the expectations, one assesses themselves, am I on time, am I late? If that's not there, if one is not going to school, it's holidays, or they're out of a job looking for another job, or whatever circumstances, or holidays, whatever you want to call it. When these things are not there, most people in today's day and age, in today's world, most people are lost. They don't know what they're doing. There's absolutely no direction. Muraqabah is to put yourself under the microscope and observe yourself. What am I doing? The first question is what? Ask yourself that question. Again, I want us to think, even though it's the theory, but think practically. Ask yourself that question. What am I doing? What is my life? Where am I going in life? What is the goal? Ask those questions. That's number one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran, He says, بَلِ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا. Basira, basar, observing, being able to see, vision. You see yourself. You just need to open your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Don't numb yourself. Don't put whatever needle and anesthesia. Go put yourself in a coma. And we wake up and life is over. Unfortunately, one of the reasons people nowadays are in need of certain medications and sometimes drugs, otherwise they go into depression and problems, one of the reasons is lack of direction in life. Observe yourself. Don't numb yourself. And don't look for some means of numbing oneself. Some people think it's holidays that make us feel better. And then they go on a trip. They come back to reality, life. We can't be on a holiday all year round. Come back to reality, it feels even worse. Life feels even worse. Again, lack of direction. Ask yourself the first set of questions of what? What am I doing? What is this life? What is my schedule like? One of the reasons I tell mu'mineen and mu'minat, my dear brothers and sisters, Islam has given us one of the best ways and means to become very aware of time. Be amongst those who have respect for the concept of time. The biggest asset, people say time is gold. I say no, gold is nothing. Time is the unit of life. Every second. In the hadith we are told, I believe it's from Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Somebody came to him, was complaining. He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, I'm suffering, I'm struggling. Then the Imam gave him a method Perhaps that person going through difficulties, financial, I don't know, social, whatever it may be. The narration and narrator does not mention the problem of this man, because the solution that the Imam gives is universal. It's not specific to that person. It's a universal solution for all of us. The Imam says to him, there are 4 masa'ib, 4 things that are passing on every human being, and he's ignorant of it, therefore he focuses on small trivial things in life. I don't know what is happening financially or socially or in terms of the country, status, whatever it may be. Out of a sudden, all of these things become the real problem when the real problem is completely ignored. What is it? He says, every second, every sa'a. Sa'a is a period of time. In Arabic, is not necessarily an hour. Today's dictionary says an hour. The time of his life is ticking, and it's not coming back. This is the greatest loss. One. Another one. As time is going, he is getting closer to his death. Yet he is not ready for his death. This is something to be sad about. Change the focus. Muraqabah, first thing. Think about, what am I doing in my days? What am I doing in my life? What is the purpose of my life? Another day, God gives me Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. He says, every day that comes on mankind, the day is speaking to you and I only if we could hear it. Saying that I am given to you another chance. Another chance has been given to you. Therefore, witness or observe yourself. What are you going to do in this day, in this day that I'm witnessing you? Because on the day of judgment, I will witness for or against you. And mind you, the day says, I will never see you until then. That's it. When today is over, it's over. This is what one needs to be sad over. If there's anything worth of crying over, it should be days of life going, yet us not reaching our destination or not traveling towards our destination. So what is the destination? Number one, what? Observe. Look at your daily schedule. What time do I wake up? What do I do in my day? How many acts of obedience? How many acts of, wal-ayadu billah, disobedience? We seek refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that. Observe. One. The second one is self-accountability. Muhasabah. Self-reckoning. Ask yourself the second question, the second set of questions. First you said what? Now the question is why? Why am I doing this? Why am I not doing so? Why do I wake up for this time of the day for prayers or for work, and on a weekend I don't even get up for prayers because I don't have work? Why? Ask yourself all these questions. Why did I do this? Why did I speak ill against this person? Why? What did I gain? Why did I hurt this person? What did I gain out of it? Ask yourself those questions. Why? Muhasabah, according to Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. He says, one who does not do that self-accountability is not from us. لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يُحَاسِبْ نَفْسَهُ. If you don't do it every day, you're not from Ahlul Bayt. This is what the Imam is saying, for you and I to remember. He says, then look at yourself, what are you doing? Part of muhasaba, and that concept of muhasaba in the hadith of the Imam includes the part of muraqaba as well. In other words, do that observation and accountability. Therefore, if he's done good, let him increase in that. If he's done bad, then he should seek forgiveness and change his ways and so on. So that is the second stage. Without that, without doing the muhasaba, one cannot travel further in this spiritual journey. And do not make excuses for yourself. We'll come to the next one, which is al-mu'ataba. Itab, I cannot find a good word to translate it. Itab, from Arabic to English, it does not have an equivalent. But I'll explain it. Itab is when you are questioning whoever it is. If you're doing mu'ataba of yourself, you're questioning yourself in a manner that you're saying, you should have known better and you should have done better. It's a special way of questioning. It's a questioning not for the sake of humiliating. It is not for the sake of perhaps harming, rather for the sake of improving, out of care. Itab is normally between people who care for one another. If for instance, the father or the parents, when they are asking their son, why did you do this? This is itab. Why did you do this? You should know better. We've told you so many times. Why would you do it? It's a questioning out of care, out of love. And questioning with the intention of improving. So now we did the why. Now, look at that why with itab. You should have known better. Again, we have Ahlul Bayt. In the words of Al-Imam Al-Askari alayhi afdal as-salawat wa tahiyyat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Regarding this same concept of self-purification, the Imam, he says, one of the dhunub, the sins, inna min al-dhunub allati la tughfar. One of the sins that is not forgiven is for one to say, I wish I was only punished for this, undermining it. Rather than saying, it's okay, everybody does. This is one of the problems of today's world, especially with the anti-social media. Again, people call it social, it is anti-social. With that kind of media spreading so much fahsha, spreading so much of people's sins and problems, if you hear something bad, don't go straight away and spread it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemns those who like to spread the bad news. You know, someone committed a sin. Or, any kind of bad action, sins, and so on. Indecency. Do not spread it. There's no need for it. With that spreading, the next thing that happens, in fact, one of the mistakes that often people make is confessing their own sins. In Islam, we are told against it. Unless you are seeking advice from a murabbi, from a trainer, from a scholar who is at the level of training and helping you, from somebody who has done so much self-purification, and now you're seeking their advice and you're telling them so that they help you. Unless that's the case, don't confess your sins. There's no need for it. In fact, it's the other way around. It makes people think it's okay. If I sit here and say, well, we were all young and we did this, that, and the other, and then the youth would think, oh, it's okay. Therefore, there's no need to speak of sins and confess sins. In Islam, we don't have this concept of confession. Again, unless you're seeking advice and help. If you can ask it indirectly, ask indirectly. Everybody does it. One of the simplest or the easiest excuses that people nowadays use. Everybody does it. So it's a sin, everybody. لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُحَاسَبْ, or according to the Imam, he says, لَيْتَنِي لَا أُؤَاخَذْ إِلَّا بِهَذَا. I wish it was only this. What is this? Nothing. No. Mu'ataba means, why would you commit it? In the hadith, we are told that for the munafiq, and we seek refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from a state of hypocrisy. He says, for the munafiq, a sin is like a fly on one's nose. If a fly comes on your nose, it annoys, yes? It's very annoying. What do you do then? You simply shake your head or move your hand and it flies away. Do you keep thinking about it? Or it's gone? It's gone. You don't think about it. You don't continuously think, oh, why did it stand on my nose? And what's wrong with this fly? And what's wrong with my nose? And none of that. Very simple. You just move your hand, shake your head. It's gone. It's over. For the munafiq, a sin is like that. He commits it, maybe disturbs and bothers immediately. In the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, He has made Iman and good righteousness, made it beautiful to your hearts. And He made you detest bad deeds. Deep within us, we do not like sins. Deep within us. It bothers immediately for the munafiq, and it's over. How about the mu'min? He says it is like the mountain on his shoulders. So heavy. Constantly doing itab with oneself. Why did I do that? Crying over it. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he describes the real tawbah. There are stages of tawbah. Somebody says, astaghfirullah. He says, wayhak. Wake up. Do you think it's simply astaghfirullah? Did you remember the sins that you've committed and regret them? Is it like that bird, I'm paraphrasing here. Is it like a mountain on your shoulders? Is it heavy? Are you looking for ways to get it off your shoulders to purify yourself from it? Is that the concern, or simply astaghfirullah? No. It should be more than that. Regretting, one. Second, have you intended that you will never go back to that? And then third, did you do the istighfar, not the verbal uttering of istighfar? Unfortunately, we think astaghfirullah is just the uttering of astaghfar. No. Are you regretful and remorseful in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Now you're asking Him and begging Him, forgive me, Ya Allah. This is the state of mu'ataba. Why? Why would you do this? You should know better. You have Ahlul Bayt, the best role models. You have the Imams whose words are, again, if you say gold, you are actually giving gold some value. The words of Ahlul Bayt are treasures beyond any treasure. You have all that accessible, available. And yet we do not travel closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to practically think and assess ourselves. These were the very close companions of the Imams. At the time of the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, there were so many different people who, believe it or not, saw the Imams and lived around them and interacted with them. Some became so close that the Imams would consider them as their trust. They would trust them with the people's religion and faith. What we received, my dear brothers and sisters, what we received from the school of Ahlul Bayt are through those who the Imam trusted. In fact, the very school that we have today of having maraja was set by the Askariyain, Imam Hadi alayhi salam and Imam Al-Askari alayhi afdalus salawat wa tahiyyat. In their time, they set it up because they were living in the Askar, which was the army basically base. Baghdad was the capital and this was the army base. They lived in there under basically home arrest and complete surveillance. Who's coming in, who's leaving. So the Imams were interacting with their community, with the Ummah through these people who the Imams trusted with everything. From the wealth of the people, people will come and give them their akhmas, their khums and their questions, and they would then bring it to the Imams, risk their lives, because if anybody was caught with letters from the lovers of Ahlul Bayt, that's the end of their lives, basically. They're accused of conspiring and plotting against the government of the time and so on. And so they took all that risk to bring the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the pure school of Ahlul Bayt to you and I. These were some people who did the tazkiyah. On the other extreme, you had people who were willing not to only persecute the followers of the Imams, but also the Imams themselves. The most pure people who walked on earth. And they knew who they were. They had no doubts about their characters. Nobody would. Living at their time, they could see. وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in Surah Yasin the messengers, those ambassadors. The Imam's hidayah and huda was very clear. Their guidance was clear. Yet, somebody like the cursed Al-Mu'tamid, eventually, after so many attempts and difficulties that they imposed on the Imam, eventually he sends the poison for the Imam salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله. On this Tuesday night, on the night of the martyrdom of the Imam, let us ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the status of this Imam, to grant us the love and the sincere following of our Imam. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. When Al-Mu'tamid gave the poison, brought the poison to the Imam in his late 20s, so much that he could have done for the Ummah, yet this cursed man, because of lack of purification and his jealousy, poisons our Imam. So much pain that the Imam sustained Eventually, on a night like tonight, the eve of the 8th of Rabi Awwal, the Imam sallallahu alayhi departed this world. Such a calamity, such a pain for the Imam of our time. عظم الله لك الأجر يا صاحب الزمان. The Imam of the time, the present Imam, was so young. Losing his father must have been so painful. Yet I say, Ya ibn Rasulillah, Ya Hujjat Allah, the pain that you have, you describe as you describe the calamity of your grandfather, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When the Imam says, لَأَنْدُبَنَّكَ صَبَاحًا وَمَسَاءً ولا أبكين عليك ولا أذرفن عليك بدل الدموع دماء. I will remember you and mourn you every day and every night. I will weep for you and shed blood instead of tears. Ya Aba Abdullah, wa ya ibn Rasulillah. He describes in Ziyaratun Nahiya as he gives his salam to his grandfather Hussein. He says, Assalamu ala Shayb al-Khadib. Peace be unto you, O the one with the dyed beard, the beard that was dyed with your blood, remembering and reminding us of the situation when the Imam was struck with the arrow in his chest. When he took out the arrow, he took his blood and he dyed his beard with it, saying, this is how I would meet my grandfather Rasulullah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم، إلهي بمحمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين وبالتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. استجب دعواتنا يا Allah. O Allah, answer the legitimate dua of mu'mineen and mu'minat, their legitimate hajat. O Allah, those who are unwell asked us for dua, grant them the quick recovery, Ya Allah. Mu'mineen and mu'minat anywhere in the world struggling under tyrants and oppressors, grant them the quick relief, Ya Allah. O Allah, hasten in the reappearance of our Imam. Make us amongst his sincere lovers and followers and companions, those who prepare for him in his occultation, Ya Allah. Mu'mineen and mu'minat, our ancestors, those who passed away from our gatherings, grant them your mercy with the reward of Al-Fatiha مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein. शम्मा से शम्मा जले, सिलसिला जारी रहे, हम रहे या न रहे, ये आज़ादारी रहे. سے شمع جلے سلسلہ جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے۔ اپنی نسلوں کو سکھاتے رہو ماتم کا ہنر، سینہ در سینہ کرے بس یہ عزاداری سفر، جیسے حالت بھی ہو یہ عمل جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے۔ لاکھ بدلے یہ زمانے کی روش اور موسم، ایک پل بھی نہ رکے اشک عزا اور ماتم، ماتم شیخ کا جنون زان پر طاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے سلسلہ جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، ہے شمع سے شمع جلے۔ تم اگر ذاکر شبیر ہو یہ یاد رہے، چاہے اس غم کے لیے سر بھی کٹے گھر بھی جلے، حرمت فرش عزا جان سے پیاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے سلسلہ جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے۔ یہ سبیل یوں ہی آباد رہے اہل عزا، اور گھر گھر پہ نظر آئے علم غازی کا، یہ علم اونچا رہے یہ علم داری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے سلسلہ جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے۔ ماں بہنوں کو ہے پیغام میرا صرف یہی، اپنے بچوں کو جلوسوں سے نہیں روکو کبھی، یہ شہادت ہے شرف یہ شرف جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، شمع سے شمع جلے سلسلہ جاری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے، ہم رہے یا نہ رہے یہ عزاداری رہے۔ محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ توجہ زیارت۔
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبي الفضل العباس وأختك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك سكينة، جميع رحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا تسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا سيدي ومولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان، سيدي الأمان الأمان الأمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان ورحمة الله وبركاته.